Here I've pulled a couple plants from the field behind us, and you can see the severity of the sudden death syndrome has really affected these soybean plants. I easily pulled them up out of the ground. The root system is almost gone. And as you can see, the leaves have all dropped off, and all that's remaining is a stem and the petioles. Difficult to estimate what the yield loss would be on this. It can be, you know, from very little to almost 100%. Sudden death syndrome is a disease that can really severely affect our soybean crop now and in the future. So what can be done? Well, unfortunately, right now, at this point in time, for the fields like this one behind me and other fields in the upper Midwest, there really isn't anything that you can do. A foliar fungicide will not affect the disease simply because a foliar fungicide is meant to kill and to help with those diseases that attack the leaves. And even though the leaves are gone on these plants, it actually attacked the root system. And so a fungicide, foliar fungicide, is not going to help with that at all. The other thing is seed treatments. Some people say, well, since it attacks earlier on in the year, that maybe a seed treatment would be helpful, and I'll put on the best seed treatment available. Well, unfortunately, the strain of Fusarium fungus that causes sudden death syndrome is not affected whatsoever by any of the current seed treatments that we have on the market. So that research is ongoing as well. The best thing you can do for sudden death syndrome is, well, there's a variety of things, management topics that can help with that. Number one is variety selection. It's important to go to the seed companies' websites and to their products and choose soybean lines that have good tolerance to the disease. There is no complete resistance, and it's very important that you know that. There's soybean varieties and brands that show good tolerance to it, but not complete resistance. Take some notes now. While you're out there and while you're harvesting the fields and while you're going out about your daily business right now, take note of where the disease is showing up. More than likely you're going to find out that it's showing up in areas where, low-lying areas of the field, possibly where compaction is showing up. All of those seem to factor into severity of sudden death syndrome. Compaction, especially from this last year. If you remember back to last fall, we had an awful lot of wet weather during the fall harvest. Harvest was difficult in 2009. And so there was a lot of combines and trucks and wagons that rolled over wet portions of fields. And those are the areas now where we're starting to see sudden death show up. Other things that we can use when we're talking about management of sudden death syndrome are some basic management practices. These include rotation, tillage, and planting date. They're all three very important practices that we can use to help reduce the severity of the disease. It won't eliminate it, but they can definitely help. Crop rotation, for instance. You should never plant soybeans on soybeans if you have an SDS infected field or know that SDS has been in that field in previous years. Ideally, you should go with a corn-soybean rotation or some other crop, just not soybeans on soybeans. Tillage is also a very important tool. No-till has been shown to increase the severity of sudden death syndrome. So any kind of tillage really helps reduce the severity of the disease. And then planting date. It's been proven that planting later in the year also helps reduce the severity of sudden death. Again, it doesn't eliminate it, but it definitely does reduce the severity and will actually get you more bushels in the bin, which is really what it's all about.